Hey everyone, welcome to another After Sunset Sunday. Oh my gosh, I see people have already lined up, ready to knock down the door. You guys are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let me get my captions or let me get everything up on my screen so I can see the chat. I see that I've got 7 people already in the chat, only 3 likes. Please do not forget to hit that like button for me. Please do not forget to hit that for me. I would appreciate it. All right, let's see who all I've got. Patricia, welcome in. Thank you. All right, so we got Kathy, we got Melina, we got Katie, we got Patricia, Judy. Oh my gosh, you guys. Welcome in, Jean. Everybody's Judy says, patiently waiting for you. Thank you. Oh, Katie Kraft says she's making a late dinner. We do that most Sunday nights. I don't blame you. Welcome in, Chloe. Welcome in. Let's see. Judy says she picked one out and going to gather up some fabric from her stash and start working on it. Awesome. Oh, I'm winning the pattern. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Katie's husband, I think, leaves on Thanksgiving Day. I will be joining her a little bit, I think, that day before Kathy and I go live. So we will see how my day goes and see what happens. Welcome in, Glenda. Welcome, all you guys. Welcome, welcome. All right, so what I've got up on the board is another UFO project. This is... Kathy says, is she pulling in embroidery patterns to test for an order? Awesome. All right, so I've got these squares. I don't know how many I've got. I like that, Judy. She says she hits it as soon as that I get in here because she's worried about the gremlins getting me. I appreciate it. I do. So I'm going to count and see how many of these I've got. Welcome in, Andrea. Welcome, welcome. All right, 4, 6... 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, or 16, 18. I've got 18 total. Kathy says, I love that pink fabric. Yeah, it came from whatever fabric line they cut it from. Oh, you know what? I've got more of it. Hang on. Let me look. Because, so I have cut squares and I have those. And I'm not sure if that's the correct layout or not, but that might be what we go with, just depending on how much I got. I do have, okay, so this is the, if you look on the half square triangles, what's paired with the green print, that is this. It is a black and pink checkered print, kind of like gingham. It's very visually challenging. And then this I have lots of still, and it says Westminster Fibers. It's Free Spirit. It's something made for Free Spirit. Snowflower by Dana. Yeah, Snowflower by Dana for Westminster Fibers. That's what this is. That's what this pink is. So if you guys are interested in getting this, I don't know if it's available. I have no idea how old it is. I just know I got quite a bit of it. So I will probably border and back it with that. Whatever I've got. Welcome in, William. Welcome in, Jess. You guys are blowing on my chat. Thank you. You guys are fantastic. You guys are fantastic. And if you guys do not know, I got made a moderator over on William's channel last night. Was that last night? Gosh. I think it was last night. Wasn't it last night? Okay. It was within the last 2 nights. We'll put it that way. So I get made moderator over there so you guys can come hang out and come chat with me there too. Katie says that she tried to sew with some tiny stripes yesterday and made my eyes cross. Yeah, this would if I was doing a lot of it. Absolutely. Kathy says that she'll have having to leave early tonight, waiting on sheets to come out of the dryer to remake all the beds for company this week. Oh, absolutely. It was last night, says Jess. Thank you. You're going to keep us straight, Coach. We're just going to, you just earn that name for every, channel you go to. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we're going to see how many of the square units around the pink that I can do. We're going to see if I can do the same number of those as, you know, so I have a total of 18 of the pink squares. So we're going to see if I have 18 of these other. So I've got 3 up there. That makes 4. And I have no idea how this pattern was supposed to be laid out. So this is me guessing. I honestly have no idea whatsoever. The other one, if you guys remember from, what was it, Tuesday? Well, thank you, Kathy. She put her channel link in the comments, you guys. Exclamation selfie. If you guys have a channel, do exclamation selfie in the chat, and it will put your channel link in for us, so everybody can go find you. And I'm hearing noises outside, you guys. Casper is frozen solid. We started out with some snow today, and it's become a layer of ice underneath everything. So, and the snow plows had not even gotten out because they weren't expecting this. So, yeah, we are kind of buried. We're looking at the reports on Facebook of, you know, people saying, don't go here, don't go here, don't go there. You know, just listening to, you know, everywhere that they're saying not to go. And one of the places that they say not to go is literally as you leave my apartment, either direction. Welcome in, Susan. She says, hi, Jamie, and all in the chat. Welcome in, Alicia, as well. Welcome, welcome. And I do have you down for December 15th. You guys, I'm going to have Jess come join us on a Tuesday night in December. It will not be So and Tell night, but there will be a Tuesday night in December. We're going to have Jess over here coming to hang out. You guys can get to know her a little bit better. And on December 15th, we are going to have Alicia here on our Sunday night. So she will be coming to join us so we can get to know her better and, you know, have some fun. So I don't have to talk all the time. I need to come visit you. Are you talking about visiting me? Oh, yeah, absolutely. But you can't, I mean, you could fly in probably. I don't know if the airport's closed yet. It probably is, would be my guess. The airport would be closed with ice. But it'll be cleared up by tomorrow. I'm not worried. It won't be that long. Patricia says that her husband got snowed in Oregon this week. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised. I mean, there's been snow going everywhere. But, like, we have not gotten the brunt of any of it. So, it's, you know, it is what it is. Now, the nice thing is, with these units, with these black squares, if you guys remember the project I pulled out on Tuesday night, these black squares are the same size in this pattern, or in this kit, as they were in that one. So if I need to go steal some, I can go steal some. You guys didn't hear me say that. You guys did not hear me say that I'm going to go steal fabric. I mean, I'm going to have 3.5-inch squares left over either way from that other one anyway. Kathy says that she needs snow. It's hard to leave the Christmas spirit, have the Christmas spirit with no snow. I have melted snow, I guess. It just never froze, right? Welcome in, Laura. I don't know how much Patricia Browning's husband got, but Chloe's asking how much snow your husband got snowed in with in Oregon. We are only getting like 1 to 2 inches. That is it. Sewing on Your Bunny Hunter Mystery 2024. Awesome. I know she started releasing the clues early because there was a lot of confusion about her releasing the clues early. People were like, wait a minute, how do you already know that? And I have not looked at any of them yet. I am jealous, but I do not have the mental fortitude to add another cutting project to my list right now. Only 8 inches, but they closed I-5 for 48 hours because it iced over. Yeah, I understand that. Katie says that it's supposed to snow on Wednesday, 3rd time this month. Yeah, we got some snow before Halloween, and it already melted like pretty fast. So our roads have literally been dry for weeks. I mean, just absolutely bone dry. And it does look like I have run out. So we're going to see how many I've got. let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8. Okay, I've got 18 there too. So I guess I have extra leftovers. And I may do something and put these in the border. That's probably what we're going to do. Welcome in, Donnell. Susan says, I know it's going to be a while before I enjoy snow after the years of playground duty. Jean says that that's okay. She doesn't want the snow. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for not wanting it. I mean, do you guys like this layout? Is that okay? I mean, do you see anything I need to change before I start cutting things? Andrea says that AC is still running. Okay, so this thing back here, that is a heater. I have got it set to like 67 degrees because it actually got chilly in here earlier. But you see that it immediately heated it up to well above that, so it's sitting at 71 degrees right now. Kathy says that they'll get ice probably in January or February. Right, that's usually how it goes. That is usually how it goes. Kathy says that she thought she was on the mend, but woke up again with a sore throat and earache. I think it is just we keep having little cold snaps. It probably is. Now I've got a friend here that came down with something. Don't know what, but something. And they are just now starting to get over it, but they still have days of antibiotics to go. Like 3 days or something. And so they'll be coming back in with it. Good question, Chloe. She's asking Alicia, what method do you use to make your flying geese? I have not looked at the pattern yet, the Bunny Hunter pattern yet. I will be downloading it one way or the other. So I will be saving it. Oh yeah, I do, Judy. She says just be sure to unplug the heater when you leave the room. I do. And I mean, my husband has the same heater out at his desk, and he does not unplug it. But it shuts it, or he turns it off, and it does stay off. We have tested this theory, but anytime, like with as much stuff as I have in here, absolutely it's going off. Because I've got my computer, my sewing machine. Yeah, no, it's going off. It's going off. All right, so what I'm gonna do? Let me grab you guys over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. You know, far be it from me to show you guys what I'm doing. you know, do I really need to show you? I don't think I need to show you. You guys don't really need to see this. Oh, you know what? I can't see what I'm doing. I guess that helps too. Let's do this and get all the stuff on the screen. There we go. Yay, I can see everything. All right. So all I'm going to do is we're just going to sew some 4 patches. Let me take this diamond or diagonal seam tape off because I do not need it right now and it's in the way. Kathy says that she has the Christmas gnome completed. Should we get a report to Andrea this week? I have some numbers that I'm checking. Awesome. So I think I'm going to do this where they're all like the gingham is going the same direction. The other option is I could do that. I could do hourglasses. And I'm not sure how that would look. It is work on for now. Oh, she's following the cutting that she has in the pattern. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the cutting on Bunny Hunter patterns can be difficult. You know, I don't know which one I like. Which do you guys like? Do you guys like going the same direction? Or do you guys like hourglasses? Or we could do hourglasses with the bright print in. Welcome in, Candace. Welcome, glad you're here. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Katie. She says, let's help Tammy. Hit that thumbs up like button, then hit the share button and share the live video. Let's see if we can get more in here and then get them to sub her. Let's get her to 1,000. Woohoo! I like that idea. You like the hourglass? Do you like it with the pink inside, or do you like the green inside. And then Patricia says that she likes the first one. Okay, so Melina and Patricia are saying the green in, and then somebody else said this one. Andrea, I think, was saying this one. All right, Jess says green in. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. She says 21 watching and only 14 thumbs up. Yeah, if you don't go back and refresh, it may not show if anybody changes that. Okay, everybody seems to like the green in. Okay, so we're going to go green in on the hourglass. Okay. All right, I'm going to trust you guys. I am not familiar with this, like, as a pattern. Like, this is not my normal. So I'm trusting you guys. You better not lead me astray. I'm just going to say, if this does not come out looking gorgeous, it is you guys. It is all you guys. Kathy says she just refreshed. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you guys can hit the thumbs down. You know, I won't be offended. YouTube still counts it as channel engagement. So either way. Okay, so that is that one, and that one's going to go this way. 15 currently, says Katie. Yeah, you guys, come on now. Oh, they're cheering everybody on for me. This is fantastic. I'm not having to lift a whole lot of fingers for it. I'm just having to keep my fingers in front of the needle and not sew through them. You know, it's the hard jobs. It's the hard jobs, right? All right, so now I can just keep sewing these in pairs and get through the whole stack. We may actually get this whole quilt top center put together. And I don't know how big this is going to be. If anyone wants to do the math for me, you are more than welcome to. I have no idea, Andrea. She asks, what's the name of the pattern? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. This came in a free to good home bag. It was the pink fabric and these hourglass blocks and the black squares and the red or the pink and black gingham looking fabric. It was just all in a bag. The other one, the one I was working on Tuesday, had a picture of what it should look like. So I had something to go off of, but this one I have nothing. Awesome. Thank you, Katie. She says, if all 18 of y'all share the channel, that will help her. Thank you. Yes, it will. It will. I'm just blessed that I'm this far, you guys. You know, I'm very blessed. You guys have really carried me this far. I appreciate it. I really do. So all I'm doing when I sew these hourglass units, so I know that this top one is always going to be green down and to the side where I'm sewing mostly on green. So I'm sewing mostly on green either way. But I'm starting with the seam at the top on the top one. And then I'm looking back at the ones that you guys can't see behind to figure out which layout this goes in. So I'm not having to think too hard on this, which is fantastic. It's super fantastic. So let's see. You guys are fantastic. Talking about hitting that thumbs up button. Thank you. So Tuesday, I am going to be making my pumpkin pie in the morning. I'm actually going to make 2 of them. I've got my pumpkin pureed. And I am doing the unthinkable. I am using pre-done pie crust. I'll still have to par bake because we are high altitude, but I am using pre-done pie crust. It's the only thing pre-done about my pumpkin pie. But Tuesday I'm going to cook 2 pumpkin pies, one for now, one for later. Susan says she's going to watch and listen while she cuts more 3-inch strips for the quilt she's starting. Awesome! I want to see it when you get it. Katie says we're all like virtual cheerleaders. Let's get out there and cheer on our creators in the community. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, Katie. I really do. I really do. But yeah, so I pick up, anytime people bring in these UFOs, I look through, and if it's something that really piques my interest, like I really like the colors or I like something about it, I go ahead and pick it up. It's an automatic because a lot of people don't want to finish UFOs. And then sometimes I pick up yardage or fabrics or whatever, and people will bring in scraps and all kinds of fabrics because they don't know what to do with it and don't want it anymore. So they'll bring in scraps, and I let anybody else take their pick first. So if anybody else in the group wants something, I let them take it first. But I will take whatever's left. I will absolutely take whatever's left because I can always do something with it. And I'm going to start going through my scraps in 2025. So all of the scraps behind the picture frames and everything that's up top and in my baskets below me, all that's going to get gone through. And it's going to get cut. I have my little 1-inchy bins up top. Kathy says that she loves UFOs because you can be creative with it at no cost to you. Exactly. And I do need some quilt tops to be able to test out settings on my long arm because I am still trying to learn my long arm. I'm still having issues. Welcome in, Pam. She says, good evening, Tammy and all. Welcome in. Glad you are here. So glad you are here. So the nice thing with the UFOs is because I still need to mess with the settings on my long arm, I do not have to panic. I mean, I'm losing batting, but I'm not losing backing fabric most of the time, and I'm not losing top fabric most of the time because it's all been given off to me. Patricia says that she only works Monday and Tuesday. She'll do all her prep work and desserts on Wednesday. I have my infusion on Wednesday, so I know I'm going to want to just sleep all day. I have really been rough this last week. So basically starting Tuesday or Wednesday last week, I've been sleeping a lot. Like, I mean, more than my normal. Like, I'm normally the person that stays in bed until I feel like getting out of bed. But, I'll get out of bed and then go back to bed. And that's not like me all the time. But it has definitely been me the last week. I've gotten out of bed and then gone back to bed. I can see swelling in some of my joints. So my psoriatic arthritis is just absolutely attacking me this time around. So I know that when I get the infusion, it's going to tank me again. So Wednesday, I'm going to be out of commission from anything. So I've got to do it Tuesday. Kathy says she'll be canning on Wednesday for her cranberry sauce. She found a no sugar added cranberry sauce that she's going to try to can. Awesome. I might need that recipe. Not for me, but I try to make no sugar or low sugar items when my dad is around. So I like to have recipes on hand for things to make that he would like. When I got married the first time, I made sure that my cake was a sugar-free cake so that my dad could have wedding cake at my wedding. Kathy says maybe it's the moon. She's been sleeping more than normal, but she's been on major meds too. Yeah, the major meds are helping me, but I am on that tail end of the meds effectiveness. So until Wednesday, I'm just taking it a day at a time. Laura says that she told her husband she needs a long arm. I quilted an 84 by 84 on her domestic and nearly killed me. I need to trim and bind, but I've been in pain since I finished. Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. That queen size quilt for my sister-in-law, I quilted all on Beauty. So I mean, queen size quilt, and it was all on this machine. I didn't even Yeah, I so thought about taking it up and going to quilt it on the long arm. But I knew it was better to finish it on the same machine I started it on than to swap machines halfway through. And then, God forbid, I have problems with my thread or anything like that. I just know. I could not handle the possible emotional struggle of having more challenges with that quilt because it was a difficult one to do and emotionally challenging. Kathy says that rest. That is your body telling you it needs to rest. Yeah, absolutely. Patricia says that sounds great, Kathy. I would love to hear how it turns out. Yes, agreed. Laura says I kept chanting to myself, done is better than perfect. Isn't it funny how that works? Patricia says that she did a keying on her domestic and her shoulders ached for a week. Oh, I bet. Mine would be aching for 2 months. I will show you guys, maybe. I'm thinking. Maybe. I don't know. I may not. I am 96% done cutting everything to size for the temperature quilt, and it will be pieced by the end of the week. I will be piecing it by the end of the week. I mean, I may even be working on it tomorrow. I probably will be working on it tomorrow. I've got to get cutting on my Elizabeth Hartman for January. Fab Farm starts in January, you guys. We are doing Fab Farm block of the month starting in January. Yes, quilting is a whole body workout. Absolutely. Kathy says it should be using organic allulose. There are 2 different kinds, and non-organic is definitely bad for you. Okay, gotcha. I would have to go buy that. That would not be something I would have on hand. But I would be game for trying it. One year for Christmas, we did, I did sugar-free Jell-O and sugar-free Cool Whip to make the dessert that I did. So everything in it was sugar-free. It tasted fine to everybody who was not sugar-free or didn't need to be sugar-free, but then it was safe for my dad too. So that was awesome. Let's see. That is exciting to him. Yes, thank you. Right? The only thing that I am got to cut is I've got to, so all the little letters that I did, I have got to cut all the other pieces that go with it. So that's what I have left. And they're all 2.5-inch squares. So instead of me having to go back, thank you, Katie. She says we have 21 likes. Yay! So instead of going back and forth and, what was I going to say? So instead of going back and forth with the cutter, I'm done with the cutter for now. So that's exciting. Oh, I had amazing news. So let me grab this so I can cut these apart while I was talking, but no, of course I cannot find it. Okay. I don't know where my little cutter thingy is. Oh, there it is. Hang on. Oh. You guys are hearing me think. This is my thinking, my live thinking. I'm just going to cut these apart in pairs, and I'm not even going to worry about pressing them until we are done with all of these, making them into 4 patches. Thank you, Katie. She says, if you haven't shared yet, please share to help Tammy out. Thank you. I appreciate every share, every like, all of that stuff. I do appreciate it. So my cutting mat, for those of you who have seen my studio cutter and have seen me using it, I know over on, was it William's channel? Oh no, it was Donna's channel. I joined in. Donnell was there. Jess was there, I think. Gosh. I can't remember everybody that was there, but it was Donna and Jess, I know for sure. I think Day and... Oh, who was the other person? It's going to drive me crazy. You guys are going to have to help me out. Donnell and Jess, who is with us over on Donna's channel, that I'm missing out. Who am I leaving out? But I was sitting here cranking and rolling my stuff through, and somebody asked if I was what I was grinding. It was hilarious. I thought it was the funniest comment in the world. But my cutting mat is really, really cut up. Like Debbie, that's right. Okay, I knew there was somebody. I knew it was on the tip of my tongue of who it was, but I could not. I could picture her, but I couldn't think of her name. Yes, Debbie. Debbie is right. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for having memories. You're doing a lot better than me. So what I'm going to do, so you guys know, because I've got these in pairs, I'm not even going to worry about pressing these at the machine. I'm just going to press them towards the black on each one. And then I may rotate the seams when I go to press them, but I'm not going to worry about pressing them right now. So they're going to get the pressing treatment later. But yeah, so I'm sitting there rolling it through, and the entire time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this cutting mat is just seen better days. It has absolutely seen better days. And there's nothing wrong with it. It still works. So, you know, it's not one of those that I need to pitch it yet, but like you're supposed to flip it. Better keep asking questions. My memory doesn't last long. Says Laura, you're funny. When I think of one, I will absolutely ask. You have my word. But so I was sitting there rolling it through, and that mat has seen better days, guys. I mean, I've definitely put it through the ringer. And I was so distraught over that mat the other day that I'm sitting there literally, you know, in this chair right here, looking up to see how much it's going to cost to replace the mat, so I can put it on my wish list of things that I need to get. And my gosh, you guys, I'm going to put my AccuQuilt up in the closet because that's where it stays when it's not being used. It's on the floor in the closet, okay? So it's not up on a shelf. I don't lift it anywhere other than to table level. I don't, no. So it's back on the floor in the closet. And I'm looking to put the tray and the cutting mat and all of that up top where they go. And I'm looking and I'm like going, well, I have this other thing that goes with all of this, but I don't know what it's for. I pull it out and I compare it to my cutting plastic. It's the same exact thing. It was just still had the label on it. So I have an almost brand new cutting plastic that's only been used maybe 3 times total. I mean, seriously, guys, literally 3 times total. I mean, you can still see which patterns I cut because there's that few cuts into it. So I have a brand new cutting plastic in my closet. So when I go to cut this again next year, once a month, you know, getting everything ready to put together every month for the tempter quilt, I will have my cutting plastic so you guys can see it live. And it won't look horrendous every time. It won't look absolutely horrendous. So, alright, so that all I am doing right now is I'm folding these open, but I'm putting the seams towards the black. So this seam is going that way and this seam is going this way. And so when I nest them together, because they're still connected, because I did not cut them apart, when I go to put them together, all I'm really worried about, I'm not even worried about the outside edges. I am just shoving these seams together as tightly as they will go. Like I'm letting the fabric do the work for me. And I'm just holding it down and then lining up one piece, going to the seam, and then lining up the other piece and finishing out the block. That is all I'm doing. And can you guys believe that this is all that was probably left to do on this quilt? is just doing this. That this was it. Patricia said that's like pulling out your winter coat after being in the closet and finding money in the pot. Right? I would love for that to happen. It has never yet happened to me, but I'm always the person that cleans out pockets. So it's always, I'm usually the one that, before I put them in the closet, I clean out the pockets. Yeah, that's me. I would love to find money in the pocket, though. There was somebody that bought a coat at a Goodwill at one point. I know this, you guys have probably heard stories similar to this, but they bought a coat at Goodwill or something, and it had like a couple $100 in it or something. I don't remember what they did or what the whole story was, but yeah, I mean, I think it was a foreshadowing tale of, check your pockets before you donate your coat. But I never have that problem. Now, my challenge is I will find... Oh, Pam says that she found $20 in a new skirt one time. UK, you need to go shopping with me. You need to find me that skirt. That would be $20 towards a lot of things. That would help me out a lot. So the... and while I'm thinking about it, you guys, if you want to ever do a super chat or something like that in my chat, those are now active. Alicia says, never done me in a coat, but I have changed purses and had $50 in it. That's where I am. Yeah. Oh, Pam says it was back in the 90s that she found that 20. Yeah. I do that with purses. I don't find money, usually, but it is usually something that I have been looking for that... I find in the purse. It could be, an old credit card. It could be makeup. It could be, I at one point put my old driver's licenses in one of my purses and then went to clean it out before donating it. And yeah, I was pulling out a whole bunch of old driver's licenses with different addresses on it. I don't know why I did it. Laura says that she's changed wallets and found money tucked away. I always have a small amount hidden in my wallet just in case. That's a smart idea. I kind of do the same thing a little bit, but not quite. Susan says that she bought a coat at Goodwill 10 years ago and found a $50 bill in the pocket, took it into the store, and was told to keep it. Awesome. I was the one, when I worked at Walgreens, my store's policy, and I don't know if it was corporate, so you can't come at me because I don't know. I honestly don't. But I was usually the one that found money that people had dropped and got kicked to the edge of the shelf or like underneath the shelves or whatever. Or, found money people left in the bathroom or whatever. I was usually the person that found that. And after a while, I realized that if they didn't put my name on it when they put it in the safe to see if anybody claimed it, if they didn't put my name and my date on it, then somebody else would conveniently claim it. So I was the one who always made sure that I put my name and the date I found it and what it was on the envelope and sealed it so people couldn't open it up. Oh, you are so sweet, Katie. Thank you. She's reminding everybody who's just coming into the chat, if you were not in the chat earlier, please hit that thumbs up. You can hit the thumbs down. I'm game either way. YouTube counts it as interactions. But if you were in the chat and you want to hit that thumbs up, like button, please do. If you want to hit thumbs down, please do that. I do not mind. I have a thick skin. It's not going to bother me. I still haven't had my first, so we're still going for that. I think everybody who's come and hung out here has kind of liked their time, so that's kind of a good deal. Good deal. I'm not going to complain about it. All right, guys, these are really popping through quickly. They're not that hard. They're not that hard at all to put together. Just little 4 patches. And again, I don't know if this is the right pattern. I don't know how it was supposed to be. This is what we're going with the pieces that we have that were cut for us. And I've got plenty to do, order, backing. I mean, I bet you I got plenty for backing with that pink. That pink, I got yards, I think. I think I have yards. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I think I will get to that point tonight because it's only 8:26. So I think we'll get there tonight. So Tuesday night we will be working again on the other UFO. The one that we started in on last Tuesday. And I think I'm going to do that. There's going to be 2 more Tuesdays of that. Jess is saying she's getting tired. She'll catch the rest of the replay. Absolutely, Jess. Absolutely. And I will have updates on what you need for the temperature quilt soon. I do not have them yet, but I will have updates soon. I don't want to give any spoilers out. She says, have a great night, everyone. Absolutely. Good night, Jess. Thank you for being here. Are you guys happy that you have a short week this week? Is that like, do you guys enjoy having a short week this week? If you guys are like people that have a job that takes off Thanksgiving and or Black Friday. I have never had a job where we got to take it off, so I don't know. I've never been on one of those jobs. I've been jealous of everybody who has. Oh. My husband's already got... Patricia says yes. Chloe says yes and no. Is it because you're going to have more work when you go back in? Is that the reason for the dread? For those of you who don't know about Walgreens, or don't live local or in the states where you have Walgreens, they are 365. Not every pharmacy part of the store is 365. But every store is 365. So they are open Thanksgiving Day, and of course Black Friday because, you know, it's retail. Okay, it is for the work afterwards. Yeah, Kathy says that her governor has declared Friday Acadians Day, so we get off. That's awesome. That's kind of cool. Laura says that her husband has a short week, but is having surgery on December 2nd, so there's lots to do before then. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I understand that. Patricia says cook for 2 days, and then I get the other days to quilt. There we go. Pam says yes, but next week will be tough. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so some of the stores that I was at, Kathy, because she says her daughter worked at Walgreens in the pharmacy, and they were 365, the one she was at. It's a new holiday for Louisiana. So there is Native Americans Day on Black Friday, I believe. What is traditionally Black Friday is also now, I believe, Native Americans Day. Judy says, night all, we'll finish watching tomorrow. Absolutely, Judy. Have a good evening. Sleep well. So I don't know what Acadians Day is in a full definition. But I would assume it's kind of along the lines of Native Americans holiday, something like that. Susan says, when I was working, always got off Wednesday early and had the rest of the week off. Joys of working in schools. True. Very true. Everybody's saying night to Judy. Kathy says she's off Wednesday and goes back on Monday. Yeah. So, one of the stores that I worked at did have a 365 pharmacy. So they were open 365. There is not a 365 pharmacy here in town, even though we have 2 Walgreens locations. And the nearest one is over 150 miles away. There is not a single 24-hour pharmacy or 365 pharmacy in this area that I am aware of. If I have a local in the chat, if you know of one, let me know. Laura says, for the first time in 34 years, we won't be hosting Thanksgiving. Our daughter's going to have it at her house. Awesome. Awesome. So we were usually the ones hosting, my husband and I were the ones hosting Thanksgiving because my husband loves to cook. I mean, you see the decorations. He loves to decorate. He loves to cook. So we were the ones hosting Thanksgiving. And so we'd host my parents. We hosted friends. the Acadian people and their contributions to the economy and politics. I would not know this, but I get the memorandums from the governor and read it, so I'd know. Oh, Chloe says, first time in years I'm taking off Black Friday. I understand that. I understand. Believe me. But so we were hosting Thanksgiving, and this is the first time since we've been off the road and in a place that this is the first year that we don't have anyone we're hosting. So this is going to be kind of a laid back year, which we kind of need. We've both been pushing ourselves. We've both been doing a lot, all of that. But so when we moved up here, we left Alabama in April of 2023, and we were on the road coming into May of 2023. So we moved in here in May, but we left Alabama in April. So the last time my puppy saw my mother was in April of 2023, which is 19 months at this point. So, I mean, we're coming right up on an even 19 months that he has not seen her and not really heard from her. Because we haven't really had her on speakerphone or anything like that lately or throughout the time. My husband was talking to my dad today about all the snow we were getting because, you know, we got to show off the snow to the Alabama people, right? And my mom starts talking and my dog starts reacting. He's just so excited about hearing Grammy's voice. He was checking the door, barking at the door, because we needed to go check the door to make sure Grammy wasn't standing outside the door. I mean, just, it was crazy. It was kind of funny, but it was kind of crazy. Poor thing. He was so looking for where Grammy was. Susan says, prayers that the mountain pass that I drive over for Thanksgiving will be clear of snow. Oh, definitely praying for that. You need safe travels. Please let us know. You know where to find me. I will be here. Kathy says she's going to host Thanksgiving at her house, but we want my aunt to come, and she's mobility compromised, so my sister said we could have it at her house. Awesome. That works. My sister has a ramp, and I don't. That makes sense. So my apartment is 0 access, but I do have an elevator. Let's see. Kathy says that she is a shopper on Black Friday, but does all of hers online. Okay, so if it comes down to there's something that I want or my husband wants that is on a Black Friday sale, the way we shop Black Friday, this is the only way we shop Black Friday, because I am not a huge go and browse and look for things person. I am the make a list, get in, get out kind of person. And there have been times, especially when the kids were little, that Black Friday shopping was the only way to get things that we could afford for the kids. So what we would do is my husband will drive. He will drop me at the door to whatever Black Friday sale I'm going to. And I will already have my lists ready. So one year, Walmart was going to open later than Target. And Target had something that I wanted to get for him. So he dropped me off at Target. And then the moment that I was done getting what I needed at Target, because I went straight for what I was going for, and then straight out the door. Or was it Walmart that I went into first? Either way. But then he picked me up from whichever one it was. I think it was, I want to say it was Target first, but I don't know. But either way, he picked me up from that store and drove me over to the other store to drop me off. That is how we do Black Friday shopping. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, you guys can see this is my center seam. That's the one that I just sewed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into all of these seams, because it's only 18 blocks. I'm going to come in and I'm going to clip this little thread that was holding everything together, and I'm going to manually pull these apart. And if they aren't coming apart, I'll come in here and clip these threads so that I can spin those seams. Okay, so we're going to spin those seams. We do have a special project we are going to pick up sometime in probably December. I don't know how much of it I'm going to do on the channel, but we will see. I'm just doing this where this is physically easier for me. So it's the same thing that I was doing just a minute ago, but I'm holding it up here. So the other project that we're going to pick up is going to be the bag that I picked up at Missouri Star Quilt Company. I want to make the little pouch bag that I picked up from there, and have it made. I've got 2 different fabrics to do it in. Laura says, Patricia, I stopped going out for Black Friday when I saw 2 women duke it out and draw blood over a Razor scooter. I said no more. I was with my sister and we left as the police were arriving. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's craziness. Now, okay, so I have a slight advantage when it comes to Black Friday. Because I have the service dog with me. Kathy says she's got to run. Sheets are done. Must get to bed. Absolutely, Kathy. Absolutely. Chloe says she prefers that too. Yeah, the drop off and pick up. Yeah. So I have the service dog. So I go in and people forget that I have a service dog. Like on Black Friday, they don't realize he's there. But I just look for workers for the store. I go make eye contact with workers. And I just look like I'm helpless. So, I don't know if that's like, I intended to do that, but it works really well. I look helpless enough that, people come and, like, help me. Or they'll escort me into a line or whatever to avoid the crowds and all of that. My service dog does not like crowds either. We went to a Walmart in Missouri because, we gotta check Walmart out everywhere we go, right? I know it's a bad addiction, but the clearance aisles are fantastic sometimes. But we went to check out Walmart, and there were so many people in the store. My service dog was going, Mom, Mom, please, let's get out of here. This is busy. He didn't like it. Oh, Patricia says that she saw a fight in Walmart years ago. And oh yes, the Tickle Me Elmo. Yeah, I can understand. Pam says, I love to browse, shop in person, but don't do crowds well, so Black Friday has never been an event for me. I remember, as a child, my grandmother and my mom did Black Friday shopping. Well, I got to go one year. I did not realize that meant that we were at the store, outside the store doors, at 4:30 in the morning because they opened at 6. Or, sorry, we were there 3:30. We were there 3:30 in the morning because the store doors opened at 5 that morning for Black Friday. And it was a department store, like J.C. Penney or Macy's or something. I don't remember which store it was, but it was something like that. Guys, I was a teenager, and I was not a skinny teenager. I was fairly stout. And I was getting pushed around by grown women who were fighting to break down the doors the moment that the manager unlocked those doors. I had a new respect for Black Friday after that. Laura says, Patricia, I remember the Tickle Me Elmo craze. I wanted to get one for my kids, but never found one. I saw them for hundreds on eBay, but not in my budget. Yeah, no. That was never. So I did have one advantage. My mom used to work at Walmart in the toy department, and the year that the Pound Puppies came out, where the Pound Puppy, you got the Pound Puppy mom, and she came with babies in her belly, and you couldn't tell how many baby Pound Puppies your mama puppy had. And I don't remember what the max was. Maybe it was 6 or 9. I don't remember exactly. But like it was a big number of puppies. But you could get as few as 1 puppy. in those Pound Puppy mamas. And my mom and her coworker actually went through the Pound Puppies to find one that had 9 or 6 or whatever the big number was, so that's what I got for Christmas that year. It was the only time she did that. Andrea says, I cannot handle crowds. I get terrible panic attacks, so I avoid crowds at all costs. I've never, ever experienced a Black Friday, nor do I want to. I can understand that. Now the song from the commercials in my head. Which one? Pound Puppies or the Tickle Me Elmo? Thankfully, I don't know the Tickle Me Elmo song, and I'm not going to Google it. Susan says the town I live in doesn't have the huge crowds on Black Friday, and as I got paid last working day of the month, was usually broke, so no Black Friday shopping for me. I understand that too. That would have been kind of where I would have been stuck, is the no money part. Black Fridays in person aren't worth the chaos that comes with it. Adults seem to turn into wild animals. Yes, they do. Patricia says that her sister-in-law is up at 3 a.m. to get in line. Never understood it. Yeah, oh, the Pound Puppy song? Okay. I don't remember the Pound Puppy song, but when I was really little, like really little, my mom made me and all of the cousins that were, my generation, she made us all Pound Puppies from a pattern. Like, she found the sewing pattern, and I don't remember how many she made because it was so many of us at the time. But I think she threw away the pattern because she never wanted to see that pattern ever again. She was so sick of making those stuffed dogs by the time it was done. And then, so when she found the Pound Puppies toy coming out that year, where you could get, how many of her puppies in the mama's belly. Yeah, it was crazy. Laura says, I don't know if anyone remembers the Cabbage Patch craze, but my aunt bought me 2. I was in high school and put them on my shelf in the boxes. I still have them. That's impressive. I think I was too young during that phase, but I did have a Cabbage Patch doll growing up. Her name was Kelly. She came with red hair and purple corduroy overalls. And her red hair was in pigtail braids. Patricia says that she had a Cabbage Patch Kid. Wish I kept it. Mine, I think I don't know where she went. Like, I don't know if she ended up in a box of discards at one point or something. I don't know what happened to her. But she wouldn't have been collector's level. Pam says that her daughter had one. Chloe says that she loved her Cabbage Patch dolls. I do like the fact that they're more wholesome than the Barbie toys, because the Barbie toys gave us all unrealistic expectations for what our bodies could or should be able to do. So I do like Cabbage Patch dolls in that they were more wholesome in that aspect. They were less, try to acquire the next, the next car, the next, outfit, the next, all of this other to, climb the corporate ladder kind of thing that Barbie did. At least that was what Barbie was doing when I was growing up. Barbie was climbing the corporate ladder. I burnt my fingers, guys. I burnt my fingers. Are you liking how these are turning out? They're looking just like they did a minute ago. But they're now all put together. That's the awesome thing. I do have steam turned on in my iron, and I'm using my smaller ironing board. And both of my ironing boards, the regular size one and this one, both have that silver lining stuff on them. So it reflects that steam right back at me. And I sometimes forget. Susan says that her daughter's Cabbage Patch doll ended up as the baby Jesus in the nativity play at church. Yeah, I don't think they wanted redheaded Kelly as the baby Jesus. So I know that did not happen to mine. Oh, I played with Legos as a kid too. I was very much create and build. And then once I discovered fabric and all of this kind of stuff, I was kind of sold on fabric and making clothes and all of that. I was definitely, I took a liking to it. I was actually making Barbie doll clothes out of fabric scraps. Patricia says that she has a constant burn on her pointer finger on her left hand. Always burn it. Have you tried those little fingertip protectors that are supposed to prevent you from burning your fingers? I've thought about trying to get those, but I would probably forget to use them, would be my problem. That would be my big problem, I think, is forgetting that I have them. I'm not even going to square these up. They're pretty close. Like, they're not exactly accurate to each other, but they are pretty close. And I'm not getting my hand close to the iron. It's just the steam coming through and, popping back up further down the ironing board when I get a little too close. Oh my gosh, Laura, you have brought back some memories. She says that she crocheted a ton of Barbie clothes. Okay, so I've told you guys I can't crochet, right? I've told you that. I know I have, because we've discussed crochet and knitting and all of that. Well, my one grandmother that ran the sewing machine store, my dad's mom, she crocheted and made my Barbie dolls. Well, she was making them for a specific doll size, but she made a ton of crocheted outfits for my doll. And they were gorgeous, but I always had this fear of being left out feeling. So because they weren't the store-bought, what everybody else had kind of deal, I looked at them differently. Like, I didn't appreciate them for the amount of effort and time that went into them. I more looked at them as, kind of hand-me-downs, even though they really weren't. So, like, I had that kind of issue growing up. Pam says that she hand-sewed Barbie clothes, no patterns, so simple stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I would take a Barbie doll shirt, or I don't think I did any pants for Barbie. I think I did just shirts and skirts. But I definitely remember sitting there with my needle and thread, sitting there trying to whittle away making an outfit. And it was never anything fancy or worth, like all these kids now making, all these fancy outfits and such, becoming real designers and all. No, mine was not to that level. Mine was definitely, you could tell it was made by a child. I did not get, it was not natural skill, is what we're saying. That's what it is. It was not natural skill. I was not a designer, fashion designer. I've never been a fashion designer. Oh, these blocks are pressing out so beautifully, guys. They're coming together so pretty. So yeah, I think, it's not even 9 o'clock here, so I still have an hour, over an hour. So yeah, we can probably get this entire center of the quilt top done and measured and see how many borders I'm going to add to it and make a decision on what I'm going to do with it. And that gets it out of the box in the course of 2 hours. Because I really didn't play with this, beyond, maybe 5 minutes before I started the live. So this hasn't been like an all-day thing or anything like that. These half square triangles are already sewn. Can you beat already having your half square triangles sewn? If I could always pick up a pattern and the half square triangles were already sewn. Oh, have we ever thought about that? Like, we have all these pre-cuts, and somebody was asking, I think it was William was asking, where they came up with all these names. Or, somebody asked in William's chat where they came up with all these names. Like Jelly Roll and Honey Bun and all of these food names. The layer cakes. Where these fabric designer companies came up with all these food names to name all these fabric cuts. But I have not seen pre-sewn half square triangles. There'd be a company that would make a killing off doing pre-sewn half square triangles. Would you buy a kit if I already had your half square triangles sewn for you? If it was a reasonable price, would you buy a kit with those already sewn? Or would you raise the bar that it had to be the flying geese that was already pre-sewn? Susan says that her youngest is an Episcopal minister, and as a gift when she graduated seminary, we made vestments for a Barbie, and she got a Barbie priest doll. That's impressive. That's an awesome gift. That is a very awesome gift, Susan. I wouldn't even know where to start to make that. I would not even know where to start. I guess I'd have to look at the outfits and try to figure that out. That would not be my normal. I agreed, Pam. She says, that's neat, Susan. It is. I never would have thought of that. That is an incredibly good gift. Like, I was just sitting here thinking. Oh. There's not a Barbie a sewing Barbie, is there? Correction, there probably is. There probably is. But she's probably sewing on a Singer, not a Bernina. I don't need any dolls in my life. I'm good there. We were actually having a discussion earlier tonight. So my husband loves Snoopy. Absolutely loves Snoopy. Almost everything related to Snoopy. She keeps it on her desk, says Susan. That's fantastic. That is so stinking cool. So he's got all these Snoopy dolls. Special editions and, ones with different things that go on. Laura says, Susan, that's an amazing idea. Agreed. Now you all have a new idea should you need something. Because that really is a fantastic idea. But what was I going to say? So he was pulling out all this Christmas, and in all the Christmas is his Charlie Brown and his Snoopy that are Christmas. And then he's got 2 or 3 other Christmas Snoopies. Just Christmas. Not even other seasons, guys. Just Christmas. And he's looking for where to put them. And he almost hung one above the dog bed. Like on the wall, there's a nail above my dog's bed in the living room. He almost hung one on the peg on the wall above my dog's bed. I said, no, find another place. He's like, why? I said, you're putting a stuffed dog above my dog. He's going to bite it and eat it. Joe's Creative Wanderings, welcome into the chat. Says, I believe it was Moda who was the first to come out with the original 4 pre-cuts, fat quarters, layer cakes, charm packs, and jelly rolls. Then others follows. Yeah, I think it is. I bet you're right. I would not be surprised that it would be Moda. Because somebody else was saying blame Moda in the chat. But, I mean, if we did pre-sewn half square triangles, what would we call that? And, like, how would you decide what fabrics were going to be sewn together? Because, I mean, you could almost make an entire quilt out of just sewing half square triangles together and not even adding any more fabric. And then if you wanted to add more fabric, she says, thank you, been lurking. Yeah, absolutely. I do not mind lurking. You are good. I love when you chat. YouTube loves when you chat. But I don't mind lurking too. I lurk on a lot of channels. I really do. I was somewhere earlier today and was just lurking. The other night when I got into William's chat, I was having a chat. He just says stuff you gotta comment on. You can't just leave him. Leaving William to his own devices is dangerous. He comes up with some crazy stuff. We need to get him to the quilting world versus just sewing. We need to convert him. Patricia says, I find defluffed dog toys all the time. Bella destroys them. We'll see. Paladin has been really good lately about not destroying the stuffed toys. But they're all ball shaped. They're not have floppy ears and a Christmas hat and all of this other. When you start adding things to the shape of the toy, that's when he's more likely to get fidgety or become a little too aggressive with playing with it. And right now his favorite toy, for some reason, is this little purple onion that came in one of his little nesting toy packs. I have no idea how he has managed to keep this one toy out and not get it buried under other stuff or hidden behind whatever. Like, this is, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it. He is definitely doing it. Okay, good. I did pull all of them off the wall, so I'm not missing any. So I'm pressing the last one of the ones with the half square triangles on it. I mean, this is an easy enough quilt. I could totally replicate this 15 times over for charity quilts. This would be easy. So he was about to hang a Christmas Snoopy above my dog's bed. And it would be within the reach of the dog. I've already moved Christmas ornaments off the bottom branches and replaced them with non-breakable ones because the dog's tail is attacking the tree. So we're already having that battle. All right. So I've got these. So now I'm gonna bring you guys back over. So we're gonna look at the layout so you guys can see what you think. Interesting that I'm currently working the 3-dog themed angels. Yeah, absolutely. That's cute. All right. I don't know how far up you guys can see, so I'm not trying to go too far up and too far down. So, and I don't know, I mean, with 18 of each, then I should be able to go, my math is not mathing tonight, 36, so 6 rows of 6, so I can do this direction. Let me see if I can separate them. They're all stuck together. They like each other now that they're all pressed flat. You guys tell me if you like this layout. Okay? This forms secondary hourglasses. Daughter has a blue healer that destroys everything. I bought a toy labeled indestructible. It was duck shaped. She ate the tail end of it out in less than 5 minutes. Yeah. I don't buy the indestructible toys because he just doesn't even like them. Like, they're not even his thing. Alright, how are you guys liking this? This is making, so we've got the hourglass here that's green, and then we've got the hourglass here that's the pattern. My neighbor's dog puts his toys away in the tub when he's done playing. Mine will if you instruct him to. Like, if you stand over it and ask him to bring something and drop it, he will bring it and drop it into his toy box. He doesn't do it by himself, but he will do it. It is flannel, yes. The blue fabric on my design wall is flannel. Yep, so what I did, I don't know if you guys can see it, probably not now that I've got this up here, but there's 6 panels on my wall So there's one up here, there's one here, and there's one here. And then there's a divide here and 3 more panels. These are poster board, and I just rotated it, or I just wrapped it. And on the back side, I did like you're lacing up a shoe. I laced the top to the bottom and then laced the sides with thread. And then we just attached it to the wall. So, yeah. Okay, so Melina says that it looks good this way. Anybody else have any opinions? Because the only other thing I can think of would be rotating every other one. And that would still do it. Okay. So I think it will have to be that, because I don't think any other rotation will work. Because no matter what I do, we're going to have the units. Laura says, I like that a lot. They look like butterflies. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Alright, so that's the layout we're going to go with. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sew, let's see, we can do 6 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. 5, 6. 5, 6. I've only got 4 rows up there. I do not have enough to do 6 across the whole way. Ooh, no, wait. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Chloe says that she likes the rotation. Yeah, when I rotate it though, like if I rotate this one, then these would have to stay. Ooh, you know what I could do? Okay, you guys take a second. Tell me if you like doing every other row. So let me know if you like the rotated, where every other row is flipped. Let me know if you like that better. So option 1 was everything is the same direction. Option 2 is I swap rows. So you guys let me know. Which one do you like better? And let's see. So 36. So yeah, I mean I can do 6 per. It's gonna look weird. I don't know why. Okay, Andrea says she likes option 1. Chloe says she likes option 2. All right, we need at least a tiebreaker. Option 1 or 2. All right, Jean says option 1. So Melina says option 1. So that's 3 for 1. We got 2 for 2 now with Patricia adding in. Okay. All right. All right, Pam is on option 1. All right, so right now we're sitting at 4 for option 1, 5 for option 1, and 2 for option 2. Okay. All right, so the option 1s have it. All right. And Susan, okay, so 6 for option 1. All right. Sorry, Chloe. Option 1 won. All right. So what I'm going to do, so that I can leave this up here, is I'm going to finish out the row. Actually, I can finish it out with this. All right, there we go. We're going to do that. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that works. All right. And 6. All right, those are the 2 rows I got to copy. And then we'll replace those as we go. Chloe says no worries. You know, that's why I ask. That's why I ask. All right. What am I planning to do with quilt when finished? Beyond quilting it? No idea. It will probably go into my for sale options. I do still need to get my for sale page up and running. So I do still need to get those the 4 that I showed the other day will be going up for sale. They are now washed and ready. And then this will go in there, and then I've got a stack of them that will go into the for sale pile. So I just need to get some going. That's all it is I need to get some going. All right, so I've got 2 rows up there, so I need to make 4. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make 4 rows, and then I'll replace those 2 with these, and we'll go from there. What about my Amazon? I know, right? So that will be going up. I will be working on that tomorrow. That's going to be first priority tomorrow. Chloe's asking about my Amazon wish list. Not everything will be on Amazon. Some of the items that I have on my wish list, my Christmas wish list, are not Amazon options. So there will be some items on Amazon and some that are not on Amazon. But I will get you guys the wish list. I promise. I needed to have already done it. So thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. So that is going on the list. Let's see what. Okay, yeah. What am I playing? Yeah, yep. It's going up on the for sale. You know what? I can just sew these in pairs all the way down because they're all going to lay out the same way. All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna lay them out in pairs, and I'll show you guys how this is gonna go. Because I have an even, now if you had an odd number of pieces on your row, then this would not work. You could not do everything in pairs, but because I have an even number, I can do it in pairs. And these pink squares that were cut are not all the same size. It looked like they were, but they're not. Webbing for the win, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Webbing makes it fast and simple, and I'm quite literally copying these first 2 pairs. So this to this and this to this. That's what I'm copying. And everything else in the pattern will go that way. Let me get this mat up before I roll over it with my chair. It's my cutting mat. And I've knocked it down 3 times already. Susan says in the morning we'll plug my Juki in, wind bobbins, and so yay! I have to get my 2.5-inch squares for the temperature quilt cut before I can sew anything on that temperature quilt. So that is the last thing I have to do. So once those are all ready and cut, then I can go from there and start putting everything together. I'm so looking forward to getting to sew on it. I'm so excited. I will show you guys a preview picture of something you guys have not seen about it yet. So you guys will get to see a preview picture. And it's one that I sent to my husband. I needed his input. And he gave me his input, and then I needed his input again because I ran out of pieces. So it is what it is. Alright, so I'm just going to put all of these together because I've got all of what I've got down here, and then I'm going to start pulling off the wall. And we'll go ahead and put all of that together too. I'm so excited, you guys. This is going together so quick. Did you have any idea that this is what I was going to pull out today? Probably not. Nobody else did. Now, did you guys notice my sweatshirt? I'll let you guys raise your hand in the chat if you noticed my sweatshirt. When I stood up, you might have noticed my sweatshirt. So raise your hand in the chat if you notice my sweatshirt. If you know what is on my sweatshirt. Oh, I'm going to have to stand up too. Very, very soon. Okay. Well, spoiler alert. Because you guys probably won't. Because I'm on a delay and all. I'm on a 30-second delay. Let's see if I can do it without showing you guys. Alright. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. All right. Now, okay, if you guys saw my sweatshirt earlier, Chloe says that she did not. Okay. Well, we have until I sew this, the ones I just pulled off the wall, before I get back up again. I don't know that I didn't specifically show it, so if you weren't specifically watching, you might not have noticed. Now, if I was doing this, like, to do something very particular with, I would probably have squared everything up, but I did not do it. Melina says that she's sewing and didn't see. All right. Oh, you guys missed my sweatshirt. My husband, when Christmas gifts for me come in, he cannot wait to give them to me. So I have my Christmas early. That is fine with me, because he wanted me to be able to wear it for Christmas, in time for Christmas. All right. Obviously, we're not fashionistas. Laura says that she didn't see it either. Okay. It is sewing machines in the shape of a Christmas tree. So we have a red sewing machine with a Santa hat and antlers and a star. Then we have a black one and a white one, a black one and a blue one, and then a navy, a blue, and a black, and then a white one at the bottom. We have sewing machines. We have Christmas tree sewing machines. That is my sweatshirt. Chloe says cute. Millie says, oh cool, yeah. He finds this stuff, and I have no idea where he finds it. I can't even answer because I have no idea. Laura says super cute. Pam says cute. Yes. This is one of two that he bought me that are quilting related, Christmas specific. The other two that he bought me are not Christmas specific. Susan says that's awesome. I don't know where he finds this stuff. At least he's gotten down the sizes though. After all the shirts I gave away. He's finally gotten down the sizes. And he's telling me, please don't wash this in extra hot water. Like, how would I do that? Our washer does not do hot water. Okay. So we have all of our pairs. So here's what I'm going to do. Because we're going 6 rows down, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to cut. So I'm going to leave them paired together. I'm going to grab the first pair of the second set. And I'm going to go back to the beginning of the first set. And can I pair it? Can I pair it? Yes, I can. Can I pair it? Yes, I can. All right. So now we've got the first 6. We will have the first 6. And then I will cut whatever's left and we will be able to pair the last 6. So this will be 3 seams that I have to sew. Or 3 sets of 6 that I have to sew. Because this is going to go, this is pairing 2 to 2. So instead of my strips of 2 becoming 2 and becoming sets of 3, they're becoming sets of 4. So let me bring you guys down to the machine because there's nothing happening on the board now. All right. So I know it's kind of a mess. Okay. So this is what's on the next up on the first strip set. So I've got the hourglass and I've got the flat print, the pink print. So when I open this up, I'm going to lay the hourglass on top. That is all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything fancy. There's no twisting it around or trying to make sure. The only thing you have to make sure of when you do this is that you are sewing the very next piece set to the very next piece set of each strip. So like where your seam, where your thread is connecting your pieces together, you should have your thread connecting your pieces together on the top set and on the bottom set. So I know you guys can't see it because there's not enough light, but my threads are connecting my bottom set together, and my threads are connecting my top set together. And that is how you cheat and web piece an entire quilt in a lot less time than it would take you if you cut all this apart and tried to piece it back together. Because why cut it apart if you don't have to? Now, because these pink pieces are cut odd, they're not all cut the same sizes, there is going to be some variation where it's not going to match when I go to sew the long seams across. So I already know it's not going to be a perfect quilt. And that could be why it was in the UFO box. That could be why it was in the Free to Good Home, please, do something with me box. And if it mattered that the seams did not line up and match exactly, then I would fix it. But it's not going to matter because it will all come out in the quilting. I already know it will all come out in the quilting. I think this is going to be really good to have a paisley kind of design on it. This black and green and pink and black plaid, or pink and black gingham, really, I think will soften up with a paisley quilting pattern on it. Now, here's a tip that you guys may not have thought of. So you guys can let me know if you've thought of this or you've heard of it or whatever. So it was recommended to a friend of mine because she was struggling with a quilting pattern, and what to quilt on this particular quilt that she's working on. She wanted to quilt butterflies onto the quilt, and her backing fabric has butterflies on it, and has a lot of butterflies. So she could free motion quilt the butterflies by quilting it from the back. So instead of looking at the top of the quilt and quilting it from the top, it was suggested to her to quilt from the back. And I have not ever thought about doing that, but if I do this as a paisley, I don't really know that I could because this paisley doesn't connect to each other, but maybe I could. Maybe I could do something, that would connect it all. I'm not sure. Melina says that she's doing web piecing now, making charm square pillows. Awesome. Yeah, charm squares are fun to web piece with, and they're nice and tiny. These are 6.5 inch. That's what my finished size is for these. Or thereabouts. Within reason, because they were not all cut equal. They were definitely not all cut equal. But they're still going together well. Pam says, I'm going to say goodnight. Still have you on the TV, so lurking for a bit. Oh, absolutely, Pam. Thank you for being here. Appreciated it. Glad to see your name in the chat tonight. Patricia says, what a great idea. The quilting from the back, yeah, right? I don't know if I would do it or not. But if I'm going to use a paisley on the back, if I'm using this pink print on the back, I could see, potentially doing that. This pattern, how busy all of this is, kind of, would actually do well for just straight line, like stitch in the ditch. So that would work too. Andrea says that she quilts from the back often. I use pouncing chalk and sometimes it will not show up on the front, so I do it on the back. Okay, that makes sense. I have not gotten the hang of pouncing chalk yet. I have seen a couple of tutorials on how to do it, and I've tried a couple of different methods to get the pouncing chalk to work for me, but it, alas, has not worked yet for me. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing wrong, but this could be another one that I try that on too. I have a couple different colors. Susan says, I found a t-shirt on Amazon with the same sewing machine Christmas tree that I had to buy. Awesome. Oh, he's an enabler. Now you know my husband. He's an enabler. Oh, he has good taste, though. He has good taste. He just picked me, right? You know? Oh. I'm a hoot. I know I am. I'm a hoot. He likes owls. Maybe that's why I'm a hoot. I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent here. I have not had enough caffeine today. I seriously have not had enough caffeine today. I don't even know how much I've had. Just not feeling great. Pouncing chalk. It is, okay. So it is loose chalk, but it is in a, it looks kind of like a chalk eraser from the old style chalkboards. So it kind of looks like that. So you hold it in your hand, kind of like you would hold the old style the old style chalkboard erasers. But you can refill it, so it's kind of like a dispenser, and instead of the black part that erases chalk on the chalkboard eraser, it has little holes in it to let the chalk fall out, and you use it across stencils when you are going to quilt with it. And I mean, I didn't have the worst luck with it the last time I tried it after watching the tutorials, but it still just was not working the way I needed it to work. So it could just be me. But yeah, pouncing chalk is for transferring your stencil onto your quilt versus sitting there and painstaking drawing it. Chloe's laughing at me. Laura says, I was going to buy the pounce chalk and stencils, but my friend said they were messy and hard to use. Any other opinions? They can be messy, and I have heard they're messy and hard to use. I've heard that, and if they're not used correctly, yes, they're incredibly messy. But the way that I used it last time was not as messy as the first time I tried to use it, not knowing what I was doing. Watching the YouTube video helped a lot. And I think I was watching maybe Grace Frame Company. I think they had pouncing chalk as part of the way that they were transferring a design onto a quilt to quilt it on their frame. And I think that's where I watched and got a little bit better at it. But it's not without the possibility of mess. So if you are anti-mess in any way, shape, form, and fashion, don't try it. It's not going to work for you. If you are willing to, okay, I had an oops with it and it made a little bit of a mess, then you're fine. Andrea says pouncing chalk is used when you use stencils. Yep. Chloe says you buy a stamp with a design and put chalk in it. Oh, I haven't heard of that version. I haven't seen that version. Andrea says they remind me of the stuff in a bag that I used when I used to bowl. It is messy, but I have gotten the hang of it. Yeah. It's not as messy as I thought it was going to be. My first time using it, it was messy. It was very, very messy. But I really didn't know what I was doing. I was basically using secondhand knowledge about what I needed to do with it, and I really didn't know what I was doing. Like I said, after watching the videos, it made a lot more sense, and it was a lot less messy. But it is not without mess. I will put it that way. You can still absolutely make a mess with it. Alright, so now we're just sewing the rows. So what I'm going to do the same thing that I did when I sewed the 4 patches. When I sewed the 4 patches with the hourglass blocks, I am going to fold my seams the direction I want them to go, and I'm going to go in towards the pink. Every seam is going to go in towards the pink, except of course the long seams. So I'm just going to hold them in place, and that will help me ease in any extra fabric on those pink blocks, so I won't have the extra. Laura says the demonstrators at the quilt show made it look super easy, but they do it all day. Yes, they do. I mean, try it on a quilt that you don't mind if it gets a little messy. Definitely don't do it on a quilt that you're not going to wash. Always do it on a quilt that you are willing to wash after you quilt it. Because if that chalk does hang around, you want to be able to wash it out. I would not use it on a quilt that I did not intend to wash. So if it was a wall hanging or something like that I did not want to wash or did not intend to, I would not use the chalk. I would use some other marking method, like stitching through paper or something, versus doing chalk. So Chaco makes a pencil style chalk writer that is a wheel inside of a refillable pen. And you've probably seen them out because they're fairly popular now. But when they originally came out, they only came out in yellow. That was the only color they came out in. And then they started introducing them in pink and blue, which are also very popular with garment sewers, because those are typically colors you can see on all these different colors of fabric. So they came out with pink and blue. There's also a silver and a white. I used yellow on a t-shirt quilt, and I think I had to wash it 3 times to get all the chalk out of it. It did come out, but I also drew the lines pretty thick because I needed them to stay long enough for me to see them the whole length of the quilt. And I was doing diagonal cross hatching. That is an awesome tool I just bought. Yes, it is. It is. I have a yellow one and I have a white one. I don't have any other colors. No, wait. I take that back. I have a yellow and a silver. I don't have the white one, but I need it probably. I have the yellow and the silver. Don't quote me on that I don't have the white, though. Don't quote me on that. I might have it. But I use the silver specifically when I am working on the angel gowns, because on the satin, if you use a yellow chalk pen or chalk pencil on white satin that you're not going to wash, that yellow hangs around and it is obnoxious because you can see that it's still there. The silver tends to blend in a little bit better. Patricia says dog hair is part of my decor. Oh, it is. It's part of mine. It's part of mine. The main reason I wear jeans most of the time is because dog hair doesn't stick to them as much as it does to like leggings and such. I wore leggings the other day and I caught myself trying to brush the dog hair off of my leggings all day long. And it was bad because, I sit down somewhere and my pants are now covered in dog hair yet again. There's no place that I do not pick up dog hair. And of course the dog rubs up against me as part of his job. So, I'm over here wearing black leggings and I have all this red dog hair all over my leggings. It's pretty obvious I have a dog. It's pretty obvious. Oh. And the times that he has to ride in the floorboard, oh my gosh. When I ride in a friend's vehicle, if I'm riding in somebody's vehicle that is not mine, and except for one instance, most of the time when I ride with a friend, I am riding in the front passenger seat. I do tend to get car sick, so I do better in the front passenger seat than I do anywhere else in the vehicle. But in order to ride in the front passenger seat, I don't want my dog up in people's seats because that's not fair to them, because then they have to clean all this dog hair. And I feel really bad for them. And so he rides in the floorboard by my feet in anyone else's vehicle. And I get out and I'm just coated in dog hair. All right, so we've got 3 rows sewn together. So now, and you guys are seeing the back of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sewn pieces on bottom, and I'm going to start putting these strips on top so I don't have to fight with them as much. So always feel like you can change directions, okay? This is not like sewing the jelly roll strips where you're supposed to sew one direction and then sew the opposite and all of that. I don't bother with that. I'm using a walking foot basically the whole time. I've got dual feet going on my machine. So I don't worry about that kind of thing. And I'm very careful to not pull my fabric. But when you get to like the halfway point on web piecing something like this, and you're sewing these last seams, especially if you're not going to press them, and you're just going to nest them the way that I'm doing here, where I just press the seam by hand as I go, then flip directions. It will not hurt your quilt one bit. It will not hurt it at all. So this is coming out square because we did 6 blocks by 6 blocks. And so this is going to be, it should be like 36 by 36. Laura says that her decor is also dog hair. Yeah, my next dog is probably, I don't know for sure because I have not found my dog yet. I've got 2 years to find a breeder for my next dog. Or I've got 2 years. I need to be picking my next dog up in about 2 years. That's my timeline right now. Paladin will need to retire no later than 10. No later than 10. He's sick. He will be 6 in January. So I need a couple of years to train his replacement and still have Paladin work, you know, when I need a reliable dog. And then I can work on training when I don't necessarily need a reliable dog. So like, you know, places that I'm a little bit more comfortable and confident in, I could take my in-training dog with me. And then places that I'm not comfortable in, then it would definitely be Paladin. It'd be my bomb-proof dog. But so I'm going to have to start training in 2 years. So I basically am about down to 1.5 years to find my next dog breeder. And I'm not looking at another lab. I am looking at a much bigger dog. I've been thinking Pyrenees. They would be fine in the cold weather. And they would be a lot more sturdy of a dog. So yeah. We're going to be starting to look for a dog in the next 1.5 years. So, my next dog will probably not be red. Which means I will be finding red hair for the next 15 years. Because you know, once a dog is gone, whether the dog, you know, passed or you rehomed or whatever, once a dog is gone, their dog hair is not gone. We will be finding Paladin's fur in things, in boxes, for probably the next 15 years. So, but my next dog will probably be white, which means I have to change my whole wardrobe. If I go with the Pyrenees, it'll be white. And no, I am not choosing the dog based off of the color of the dog. It would be my first white dog, though. If I do manage to get a Pyrenees. I do now know of a German Shepherd breeder that would be fantastic to go through, but I do not know of a Pyrenees breeder yet. But I really don't want a German Shepherd. You guys can convince me I'm wrong. Susan says, I was a multiple cat owner, cat hair everywhere. The first time I made a quilt after having no cats was so nice to not be sewing cat hair into my quilts. Oh, I understand. I used to have cats. I had I had the trifecta. I had a calico and I had a red, an orange cat at the same time. And the calico had white, orange, and brown. And the orange cat was an orange tabby, orange and white tabby. So I had every color but black. Laura says, I told my husband no more dogs that shed. I might consider a Labradoodle, but I do love my Yorkie, and she's my cuddle buddy. Yeah, if I thought I could get a dog that would work for me, that did not shed, that would be great. My problem with dogs that do not shed, the doodles or poodles or whatever, would be that I do not want to spend the money to send my dog to the groomer. So I would have to learn how to do it all myself. And I am realistic that grooming a poodle breed or a doodle breed that has that poodle hair would be too labor intensive for what I can handle. So I'm just realistic about it. So I don't think I can get a dog that does not shed for me. That will probably not be an option. I would honestly love another bully breed. I had a bully breed at one point. We used to have an Angora cat. When I was pregnant, I developed an allergic reaction. Oh, that's awful. That's rough. I really loved my bully breed, and although he didn't shed a lot. And he was an American bulldog, so he was not he was not a pit bull, but because he has that similar face, people thought he was just a really big pit bull. And he was 72 pounds. He was a good big dog. Not as big as what I need, but he was a bigger dog. And he was the biggest cuddle bug. I loved that dog. He was just so sweet. And so loving. He was just absolutely a loving dog. But if I got a breed like that, he would have to wear coats up here for, a good part of the year, which I could get him used to. Pit bulls don't shed much. How about a pit? I've thought about that. Most pit bulls do not get to be by the pit bull standard. I'll put it that way. That I understand, pit bulls do not get to be big enough for what I need. So my current dog is 62 pounds, and that is not heavy enough, and his height is not high enough. So I need a dog that is a considerable amount taller and heavier than my current dog. That's the problem. Getting a pit bull that is that big would be hard. I would have to crossbreed. Laura says we have an Australian Shepherd and she sheds like crazy. We also have 2 Border Collies and they shed. Oh, you could not pay me to have an Australian Shepherd, and you could not pay me to have a Border Collie. You could not pay me to have those breeds. I have a friend that raises toy shepherds, toy Aussies, and they're cute and they're adorable, but no. That is not my breed. It is definitely not. They're definitely high maintenance. I have had 2 German Shepherds and they are so smart and love you. Yes, they do. I will say that. I have bonded with a German Shepherd before. My challenge with having a German Shepherd and living in an apartment is that I would have to put so much energy into giving them enough work to keep them busy, and I do not have that energy level. So I fully admit I don't have the energy level to make a German Shepherd or a Malinois' life what it needs to be. All right, so this is not pressed, guys. I'm not going to press it right now. I'm not going to bother with that. Let me bring you guys over. We are done sewing for the night. So we have a 30, I bet you this is 36 by 36. Did I get them all the right direction? Did I? Looks like I did. Looks like they all go the right direction. Okay, so let me see. Let me grab a ruler. And we are going to see how we are doing on size. So, yeah, this is not a very long ruler. Alright, there's 1, 2. Oh, going the wrong way. Yep, just over 36 inches. Okay, so what I will do is probably border this out one way or the other and make it taller and larger, because this is basically a baby size quilt at this point. Oh, so that may be what it stays. It may stay baby quilt size. I may not add like huge borders to it, and it is not pressed. Okay, so keep in mind it is not pressed, and my fan is on, so it's gonna blow it a little bit. There we go. It's tucked in place. Let's see. Thank you, Katie. She says that quilt top is super cute. You did good, Grasshopper. Thank you. So it's approximately 36 by 36. Susan says, would make a cute baby quilt. Yes, I think so. So let me grab what I got left over. And this can be part of the bordering on this quilt. So I have more of the half square triangles in here. 1, 2, okay, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I think, yeah, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. So if I divide it by 4, I got 5 per. But with 22, what I could do is I could actually make, and I will audition it. Let's audition it down here, I guess, so you guys can see it. Because I'll move out of the way in just a second. So please do not panic. I will move out of the way. Okay. So what I could do is from this strip do pink, this strip do, or this, I could do like the, let's see, that's about the size it make for NICU where my daughter works as a nurse. Okay, that works. Alright, so let's see what I got. Alright, of this, we got one, about 1 3/4 yard left, okay? So with this, I could make strips of this to go here and up here to match with that. And I could actually probably find some black, because I do have some black. And I can make black strips to go with the green to kind of make it a twisty pattern. So I could make it a twisty pattern with all of these and just go around and around making border that way. Let's see what I have of this pink, because I have a lot of it. And if, at 36 I can use 1 yard, but see, 1, 2, almost 3. So I have almost 3 yards. So I have plenty of the pink for the backing. So between the pink and black gingham and this, I could border it out a little bit. So make it about a 40 something. Because that would be 6, so 35 plus 6 plus 6. 35 plus 12 is 47. So 47-inch square quilts. Or I could just add more to the top and bottom and just add narrow sides to it and make it a, like a lap quilt. I could make it a lap quilt. And then I've got enough of this pink to do whatever backing I need to do. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I will figure out how I want to lay it out. And, I mean, this will be simple because these is just 3.5-inch strips that I would have to cut. Laura says that's about the same size I make for the NICU where my daughter works as a nurse. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, that's all the comments. Okay, I didn't miss anything. Thought I was missing something. Alright. So I'm going to take these off the wall. That'll come off the wall tonight. And I'll go back in this box until I am ready to pick it up. My next thing will be the quilt that we were working on last Tuesday. We're going to work on it this Tuesday. I'm going to have everything pressed. So I will also have to cut my white 3.5-inch squares. Ooh, I will have leftover black 3.5-inch ones. So I can put it to this quilt. It's the same fabric. It really is. I mean, it came from the same person, so it makes sense that it's the same fabric. I think it's cute. I think it came out really cute. And I had no idea. I had no idea what this was supposed to look like. So this is just what, just from the pieces that were cut. So everything else that's here, aside from these half square triangles, that's what was cut. And maybe they ran out of the green fabric and didn't have any more to do any more with. Maybe that's what happened. And they just didn't want to let it go to waste. I don't know. But once it's done, it will go up on the for sale site. So tomorrow I will be doing my wish list, and I will also go find a place to take pictures of the quilts that I've got for sale. Another project you guys will see soon. You know what? Let me bring you guys back down to this No, maybe I can't because it'll zoom in too much. So I don't know how well you guys can see this through the plastic. It says Baha, so B-A-A-A, and it is a little sheep head and sheep legs and little circles for the sheep colors to make the balls of wool. And it has a little pieced outer edge to it, and it even included the buttons for the eyes. And it has a little chenille border around the binding. So like the binding is sewn down to the front, and then when it's flipped to the back, the chenille is sewn onto it or something like that. So it has pink chenille in here as well. Oh, thank you, Chloe. You have a better memory than a lot of people. She says, I remember when you got it. Oh, Laura, I missed your comment. She says, we had a great day when our kids were little. He was the best, but only lived to be 9. Yeah, that's the other problem. Because I've thought about a Great Dane. I have thought about one. But if I get a Great Dane, the very next person in the house that gets a Great Dane needs to be my husband. So, backing needed 1¼ yards. And this one finishes at 35.5 by 39. And I've never done chenille. And I didn't get it because I wanted to do a sheep quilt. So don't get me wrong, I did not get it for the sheep quilt. I got it because I wanted the book that came with the kit. And the book has a lot of letters and lettering patterns. So I wanted to be able to do the lettering. Oh, and they actually did the lettering with the chenille too in the sample. So we will see how we're going to do this. It says that they The instructions for the pattern: applique the circles using needle turn. The person who put this in there said I chose not to use that, doing raw edge applique instead, using heat and bond to fuse them, and then machine appliquing them, then stitching close to the edge using a variegated thread. There's plenty of fabric if you choose to do needle turn. The lettering is done with the 3/8 inch hot pink chenille. How they traced them. And you can fluff the chenille by washing your quilt or rubbing it with a stiff brush. Buttons for the eyes. Okay. And then, yeah, I have fabrics. So I will have extra fabrics left over once I get done making this. So there's plenty of fabric left over to put in my scrap bin or do whatever I want to with. Some of this is Riley, or that one's Riley Blake. It's a pink polka dot print. Let's see, Lazy Afternoon by Bridget. That's as far as the selvage goes. That one doesn't have the information. A lot of these are fat 8s, it looks like. So it depends on if they kept the selvage. The Spirit to Create from Free Spirit Fabrics. Let's see. Verbena. Something Society. I don't know what. Like, I mean, these are very small cuts. Let's see. There's more of that same fabric that I've already seen. That's Jen Hewitt. So yeah, brands I haven't heard of, but this all came from a quilt shop. Oh, thank you, you guys. Saying bless me. Thank you. I forget that when I sneeze, people would want to say that, so it goes over my head. I'm sorry. Thank you, though. Ruby Star Society. I have some other Ruby Star fabric that I need to get into. I'm looking forward to. Let's see. And then this big piece, this background piece. Let me see if they left the selvage on. Yeah, they left the selvage on. It's dark blue. Ruby Star Society by Jen Hewitt. Verbena, Jen Hewitt. 100% cotton, made in Japan. So yeah, there's a lot of the same kinds of fabrics in here. But this is all going to go into one of my project boxes. I entered one. Verbena, Ruby Star Society by Jen Hewitt. Yes, that is exactly what that is. And the pattern for this is actually in the book with all the text letters. So when I get going to work on this, I will give you guys the information if you want to do this quilt, as to where you can get the book. Chloe says, I love that line. I have never seen it before, to be honest. But again, I wanted the book, so I bought the pattern and the kit to get the book. And they had this priced out at like $58.99. So I was like, well, you know, if nothing else, I can make the kit and sell off the quilt, and I still have the book. The book is what I wanted. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever bought something just to get one part of what it is? I have. Oops, my bad. But this quilt and the other one, the one I was working on Tuesday, are quick finishes. So that'll help. You know what? We have less than 6 minutes. I'm going to show you guys. Oh, you know what? I'm going to show you guys on here. So I'll bring you guys back down to this camera. Let me see. Okay. Let me pull the picture up. Okay. For those of you who know about the tempter quilt, these are the outside pieces for the tempter quilt that I'm doing for the sample. It's not the one I'm going to be doing in 2025. But there's 25 pieces here, and I had to ask my husband which ones he wanted to duplicate because I didn't plan enough fabric. So this is why you guys want to have a little bit of extra fabric in your temperature quilts. If you're going to do the double wedding ring temperature quilt pattern with me, because you will want to have the extra fabric to do something like this if you want. So these are the fabrics for and guys, these two up here that are really light are greens. I promise they're greens. These are some tans through reds and browns. And then these are all purples. So these are the outside arcs. So when you get to, I'll bring you guys back off of that one, sorry. When you guys get to deciding things, I wanted to let him choose, because this is for him. I wanted to let him choose whether he did solid on the outside borders or if he chose to have it pieced, or if pieced was too chaotic for him, you know, what he wanted to do. So he chose solid, which thankfully it actually makes my job a lot easier because I didn't have to piece a whole bunch extra, but I wanted to let him choose. With that being said, if you are planning to do the temperature quilt, if you are getting your fabrics or you're prepping fabrics or you're choosing fabrics, I know we had this discussion probably last week, or we had it Tuesday, I can't remember which one, about pre-washing your fabrics. That is your personal preference, entirely up to you. If you are using the AccuQuilt to cut your fabrics, or even if you are not, you're going to be cutting a lot of bias. That is the nature of the beast when you're doing curved piecing. When you're cutting bias, please, whatever starch kind of product you use, plan to have plenty of it because you are going to need it. I will be putting it in the pattern, but I took some pieces that I originally cut that I did not pre-starch and put them up against pieces that I did starch, and the difference is pretty distinct. You can tell the difference between the two pieces just based off of which one got starched before it got cut and which one got starched after it got cut. So that's my little PSA for tonight. I will have supply lists coming out probably by the 7th of December. That works, Susan. She says that she's using the high and low temps for the year she was born for her hexagon temperature quilt. So this is the highs, lows, wind speed, and difference in temperature for the year my husband was born in the city that he was born in. It was Birmingham, Alabama. So I use his first year of life in Birmingham as the as the marker. Patricia says she just ordered a gallon of espresso. Yeah, you're gonna need quite a bit. You're gonna need it. You don't really want the pieces stretching and moving on you. And when you are working with bias edges, which you are when you are doing curved piecing, oh my gosh, it's worth having the extra, I promise. Alright, well, it is almost 10 o'clock. We are a few seconds away. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here before my alarm starts going off and before the lady downstairs starts banging on the ceiling, because we've been loud today. My husband is still decorating. So I will get off of here. I will see you guys Tuesday night. I am so looking forward to Tuesday night, you guys. So please, please, please be here Tuesday night. I will tell you about all the stuff I've done throughout the day to get ready for Thanksgiving. And then I will be live Thanksgiving Day here on the channel. We will have Kathy from My Hobby Home here also as well. So please, please be here, show up, hang out, give the thumbs up, all of the good stuff, and come have a great time just hanging out with all the fabric and quilty stuff that your heart can dream of, okay? So I will see you guys later. Thank you for being here.